Our next feature is a doctoral student, a psychologist in training, and a poet. She writes relentlessly and has been featured at various venues throughout New York City. She is currently working on her first full-length manuscript, due to come out in the following year by 3 Rooms Press. As an Arab American, she has lived all over the world, spanning from Oklahoma to Beirut. Her poetry is deeply influenced by these distinct geographic spaces, as well as the intimacy of imagination. Mythical figures, literary characters, and inanimate objects alike are reworked and transformed in her work. Put your hands together and welcome to the Inspired Word stage, Hala. Clap it up for Hala. Hala.
Hello.
Hello!
Yeah. Alright, so I have 3 pieces. So the first piece is about, I don't know if you guys heard about Frank Buderich. He was a Marine who stood trial for killing 24 unarmed civilians in the Iraqi town of Haditha. And this was back in 2005. And the trial was earlier this year, and he was ultimately not given any jail time.
Wow.
And what happened was, there was an IED explosion and it killed some of his men, and he gave the order to his squad to investigate the neighboring houses. And the order he gave them was to, quote, shoot first and ask questions later. Dear Frank, I wanted to say hello. I wanted to say good morning, good night. I could not write. How is the sky today? What color, what smell is it with no concrete roof blocking it? Are you still celebrating? Are you still walking around the rooms of your house stunned as a sleepwalker at the golden miracle of your luck? Do you touch the walls? Frank, do you remember their names? Did you ever even know them? Abdul Hamid, Noor, Khamisa, Yunus, Jahid. Frank, do you sing in the shower? What songs? What music pulsed in your temple as you cocked your gun to the throats of toddlers? I'm sorry for all my questions. I'm sorry, I need these answers, but you said later, and it's later. What's your favorite month? When fireflies dance around you in June with their skeletons lit like afterlife, do you wave them away or do you smile? Frank, your daddy, he doesn't believe it. He says, Frank is gentle. He puts his hands up like little borders to keep from hearing about the legacy his son left in the desert. There are baby pictures of you somewhere. There is an old, crumpled band uniform. There is your former self scrapbooked and beaming into yearbook cameras. Tragic events. You said tragic events, Frank. What is tragedy for you? What is its pseudonym? What are its letters? Ahmad, Akram, Khalid, Wajdi, Muhammad. You shot them running in the back. Asked why would they be running? I didn't hide my gun. In interviews, you are fresh-faced. Nervous-looking eyes the color of hot chocolate, upper lip layered in sweat, handsome in that haunting, tricky way. Asma, Abdullah, Rashid, Aida, Frank, I don't mean to be unkind. I know you didn't sculpt those bullets yourself. I know you weren't alone. I know war brings out the wolf in people. I've seen it. I've walked white boys down dark streets, gunfire drumming in the background as though long legs and long lashes could save them, could save them. It saved them. Frank, I know you knelt and saw the men you called brothers gutted hollow, limbs wilted as neglected flowers, and the fury. It was so hungry, so huge. It was the only thing that satisfied, the only thing that kept your broken heart beating, beating, beating. And a man, 9 years old, watched it all, said they killed them, they killed them. Frank, she won't forget you. Frank, legacy is legacy. The Romans taught us that. Set a match to a library, plunge a dagger into flesh, and they will remember you. Frank, do you like your tea with sugar? Does your skin peel in the summer? Frank, what are their names? Yunus, Muhammad, Walid, Sabah, Zainab, when they prepare you for deployment? When they tell you about the disasters that brown hands make, what do they tell you of their funerals, of their burials? They bathe the body, Frank, slowly, quietly. They wrap it in clean, white linen, send it to the soil with prayers. They put it in a shroud, and you, of all people, should know that they can make shrouds like they can make coffins in any size. Jasib, Aisha, Jamal, Marwan, Kahtan, why? Frank, why did you say no? When they asked you if you should have said ceasefire, should have said ceasefire, should have opened the vault of your lungs and said stop, stop, those 4, 5, 6-year-old hands are hiding nothing but air. When they asked you if you should have said ceasefire, you said no, no. And they cut your pay, and they cut your rank. Frank, what is the weather like today? What do you give up for Lent? Where do you go in your dreams? Frank, you have daughters, 3 of them, lovely, darling-eyed little things. Frank, where will you be when they turn to you someday, turn to you with their confusion, with their fingertips inky from newspapers, eyes blazed with old headlines? What plate will you be washing? What pipe will you be fixing? And Frank, oh Frank, what will you do with all their questions?
With that question, you have another question.
All right. In my family, fights start up like grease fires, appear like unforeseen rainstorms that we are not prepared for. 1 second, we will be admiring the penguin exhibit at the zoo, and the next, wishing each other buried, screaming Arabic phrases about God-struck fevers, tongues being snipped. I have trouble saying certain words. I have trouble with anger in all languages. Still, these are our reunions. This is how we pronounce love. 1 island for mommy, 1 for dad, and in the living room, there is a demarcation line. It is the ghost of every news reporter we have let into our home, every anchor who crashed on our couch bearing empty pockets, bearing numbers like Trojan horses, 625 dead, 413 missing, 322 awaiting trial. My family does not keep Little League trophies or prom pictures. Instead, we keep Damascus on the mantle, collecting dust. And on the balcony is my sister's fear, drying like a sundress. She is afraid of war, afraid of gunfire. That summer, I watched her watch the sky. No crying, no screaming, just kept her 6-year-old eyes open as jets whistled over the Mediterranean with their explosive gifts, and the walls trembled around us as though God was humming really loud to keep from hearing what people were saying about him. In my family, we don't carpool. We keep Beirut on the bookshelf, Baghdad beneath the dining table. In the closet is my kafiyeh. Black and white checkered scarf. My mother says, be careful where you wear it. Be careful what you are telling people about yourself. And all I want to say is, Mama, this is not about fashion, not about defiance, because Palestine is the mess of electrical wires in the center of the house that none of us can untangle. It is the unswept glass shards we step over, the restlessness. It is the bubble wrap that never kept any of our picture frames from cracking. And Mama, it is the way we hate ourselves, the way I am always late for airplanes, always joking with the man who takes me aside and says, I gotta, and I say, I know, and I do know, and I do know, but this is not about fashion. In my family, We don't keep scrapbooks or collect marbles, but we do have a cookie jar. It is full of love notes from presidents around the world. They are handwritten. They smell of honeysuckle, and they say, keep buying bubble wrap. Keep buying moving boxes, because what you have and where you keep it is up for debate, is up for grabs, is always up to us. So look. Look how our couches are still soiled with the litter of newscasters, and our mantles need dusting, and my sister's sundress will never dry, because there are always bombs falling somewhere under some sky, like the rain that no one saw coming. This is my last piece. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, man.
Yeah! Yeah!
So, I don't usually do this, but this is an unrequited love poem because I love unrequited love. It's my favorite kind of love. So here we go. It was rain. Tiny droplets against glass at the corner of two streets named after empires reign. And around us people sang, made music with hands against wood. You tasted of salt. You kept your fingers on my hip as we listened, as we lowered eyelids heavy, let the music freckle the faces we tipped towards sky like orchid, like light was strange in that city. Strangled around fire escapes, flickering at midnight, we each got a lantern and some bread, and we slept and woke and slept and woke, and you said sunrise like it was a command, and I said maybe like it was a promise.
Yeah! Yeah!
Little speckled map, I am the face at the window, glass fogging fingers, starfished as you walk away. Feet on concrete, feet over rocks like paintbrush, you smile, darling. This world is all cave and cloud, and I have always been Ophelia's girl, attracted to disaster, running towards fire with savage hair and half-shut eyes, and you are flare, a smoke signal sent up to the sky like something I should have known better than to follow. It was rain, and a hurricane somewhere on another coast brings us drizzle and tiny dancing things, darling. Each sea is a ribcage, and the moon is a whore, all vanity, all cheekbones over the Atlantic. Look how she eats. Look how she turns hungry to beauty, licks bones clean, keeps her bed the sky and the sheets all stains. I want another story. I am sitting at a loom. I am unraveling to the beginning. Not Eve, not fossils, but maybe coastlines. Maybe coastlines. Maybe our bodies, graceful as jellyfish ballet, met 200 years ago. Maybe decay. Yes. Maybe I was bullet and you were thigh, or else you were lightning and I was sky. Maybe it was Greenland or Japan or Nebraska. Maybe what we worship is the unlit, is the simple ink of tentacles reaching out, of bodies flat and sick with the open hands of love, and I love, and I love, and I am empty with love. I am boarding airplanes with hand on heart and heart in throats. I am landing on other islands with my hair grown out, wearing, and waiting. You find me in marketplace, laid out like fruit, stamped like silver. You find me in alleyway with the gifts of other men still in my pocket. You find me asleep, dreaming not of sky or water, but deserts, scorpion bones, and coyotes blazing beneath sun. Betrayal. I am all betrayal. All skirts slip high, only one, only one. I am not your only one. You keep girls with golden hair in shrines, keep them coming in water with their red lips, their cocaine eyes, and I am snow globe. I am waiting to be shaken. I am crowded beneath 3 blankets in winter. In winter, it is always winter here. And you said August like it was a souvenir, and I said remember like it was a crime. You have audience. An auditorium in every city, people leaning eager and hungry in their seats for the words you dangle like crumb trails, I trail crumbs too. I keep the awful bones of old love scattered on this planet, and I have boys beneath soil in Dublin, and I have boys in mosques with sins between their teeth, and I have boys in windowless rooms ill off of the frenzy of needles you tasted of salt and lungs and lungs. And if I could find the lungs, I would follow you down like Persephone, down to the dark, down to where no light lights. I would follow you like the grateful, the blindfolded, the sightless. It was rain, and I am still gathered, breath against glass and glass beneath sky. I am still sleeping, still waking to you elsewhere, always, and I want another story. I want another ending, but you said love like it was the punchline, and I said don't like it was a dare. Thank you guys so much.